It's the late 1980s, and you're sitting at your computer typing something up. Back then, the world was run by a word processor called WordPerfect. If you wanted to make a word bold, you didn't just click the bold icon, you had to press F6. To underline, F8, and to print, Shift F7. But the real terror happened when something went wrong. On screen, the text looked fine, but the printer would churn out garbage. To fix it, you had to open a secret function called reveal codes.
And so on the bottom of the screen, you can see the reveal codes.
But this meant you weren't writing anymore. You were debugging invisible formatting. In fact, you spent more time managing the structure than you did writing the actual words. Then Microsoft Word arrived.
Hello, I'm Bill Gates.
You clicked bold and it was bold. What you saw was what you got. You could finally just focus on the content. Whew, hope I don't have to wear that every day. I've been thinking a bit about that reveal codes screen over the last couple of weeks because it reminds me a lot of where we're at with FlutterFlow and custom code. The visual builder is great, but the minute you want to add some custom code, you're back to the WordPerfect era, fighting with imports, boilerplate, and hidden structural rules. So I decided to build the modern solution. Hi, I'm Stuart, and in this video, we're closing that reveal codes window for good. The recent excitement surrounding FlutterFlow Designer has really inspired me to finish a project I've been developing called Custom Code Connect for FlutterFlow. This tool allows you to conceptualize and generate any custom widget, custom action, or custom function that you might need. You can even generate custom classes. And the tool will upload it directly into your FlutterFlow project, formatted to adhere perfectly to the strict structural requirements FlutterFlow demands. You just describe what you want to build in plain English, and Connect generates the code in the exact FlutterFlow format, including parameters, imports, and the required structure. And with one click, you can add it back into your FlutterFlow project. It even includes notes on how to hook it all up inside FlutterFlow, so you're not guessing where things go or what settings to toggle. Let's walk through an example. So here we have our prompt for Connect. We wanted to create a signature pad custom widget that captures drawing gestures. We'll need the widget to pass the data into FlutterFlow and ensure it can be cleared via FlutterFlow. And I've suggested it can use app state variables, callbacks, or both, because these buttons will exist outside of the widget itself. In Designer, it's created this page, which is excellent. And here's where we'll put our piece of custom code to capture our signature. And we'll use these finalize signature and clear canvas buttons. So the first thing to do in Custom Code Connect is to add in your API keys. Here I've added a Google Gemini and an Anthropic API key, and I've also added in my FlutterFlow API key and given it my project ID. This is a new feature in Custom Code Connect. It allows you to push your custom code directly back into your project. You don't even need to copy and paste it. It's all done in one click. So we'll add in prompt to get our custom signature pad. And here we can select a variety of different models, depending on whether you've provided the API key or not. I've also added in OpenRouter, who have an auto router service that'll route the request to the best available coding agent at the time. And there's also free models which you can use, though there is a payoff between accuracy and cost with the free model router. I'm just going to leave it on our default, which is Gemini 3 Pro, and we'll run the pipeline. There are 4 things going on here in this process. The first, we've got a prompt architect that's analyzing the natural language that you've given it, determining whether it's a custom widget, a custom action, a custom class, or a custom function that you're after. It then maps out any parameters and any returns, all adhering to FlutterFlow's structure. It compiles all that to a JSON object, which it then sends off to the code generator. So in step 2, the code generator receives this spec. It also knows all about the FlutterFlow constraints, and it's the one generating the Dart code. Here, we'll also apply the mandatory FlutterFlow headers and double check that everything is FlutterFlow-ready. Step 3 is code review. This is where we'll audit this code. For FlutterFlow compatibility, give it a score out of 100 and list any additional steps that you'll need to take as a FlutterFlow developer in order to set up your piece of custom code inside of FlutterFlow. Finally, if you've provided your FlutterFlow API key and project ID, we'll push the custom code directly to your FlutterFlow project. You then just need to follow the code review instructions to set the final pieces up. Things like adding dependencies or any platform-specific changes to info.plist, Android manifest. So let's see how we've gone. Our prompt architect and code generator have all completed successfully. And our code review has given us a score of 85 out of 100. It's always really important to check any critical issues here. Some of them you'll be able to address straight off, but some you might want to send back, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. So we've got included imports in a Dart file. Connect is quite specific about the import section and wants to always tell you when there's a custom import that you need to do something about. And in this example, there is. We've got a package signature from Pub.dev that we'll need to import manually. So it's telling us here that we'll need to import signature into the Pub Spec dependencies section of FlutterFlow. It's also warning us that code generator has hard-coded inter inside of our custom widget. If this isn't your primary font style, well, then you'll need to change it. Similarly, we've got some hard-coded UI labels. So this will make things difficult for any multi-language territories or multi-language apps out there. It's also going to warn us about any callbacks and passing data between them. There's nothing inherently wrong with these, but it's important to know when we're passing data at any time between a custom widget. And in particular, if we forget to actually do anything with the callback, that will become a user experience issue. So here are the things that we need to do as a user inside of FlutterFlow. We need to add the dependency for signature, and then we need to define these parameters inside the platform itself. It's given us a code transformation if we wanted to clean up the code, how it would go about doing it. And it will comment out anything it sees. There's a few things we can do from here. We can choose to take this revised custom code and manually copy it into FlutterFlow. Or we can take all of these recommendations and feed them back into Code Generator and have it have another go at the code. This is particularly useful when you're using your own API key with Claude, with Codex, or with OpenRouter, because this is the model that Code Generator will use, meaning that you've had both Gemini and another large language model look at your code and review it. So with the code review, critically, we've cleared all our critical issues. We do still need to do our manual imports of signature and include all of our parameters, but this code transformation looks good. So I'm going to deploy this directly to my FlutterFlow project. We'll get a success message or an error message, and that error message will be based on both a code review from Connect and a code review from FlutterFlow itself. And you'll be told the results here. Here we've got success. So let's go into our project and into our custom code section. Here we can see signature pad. Now, important to note, there's a couple of rogue pieces of code here. These two lines will cause an error on compile, and they're added by the FlutterFlow API automatically. So we'll need to delete them, or our project will have compile error. We hit save. Now we go into settings and add in our custom pub dependency. From our code review, we can see this is signature 540. Always a good idea to click this little icon here and check to see what the latest version of this Pub.dev package is. More often than not, you're better off using the latest version than the version an LLM will tell you. So I'm going to go back in here and add our latest version in. If you do run into any problems, you can always go back to the version that has come out of Connect. So now our custom code's in, let's bring in our design from Designer. All right, so here's our signature pad page. In this container, I'm going to put our custom widget. We need to give it a pen color, a stroke width, a background color, an on-save and an on-clear callback. Save button color, the clear button color. Now let's build. Custom Code Connect is live now at customcode.connectio.com.au, and I'm actively improving it based on your feedback. If you want faster custom code, fewer headaches, and more power inside FlutterFlow, check it out and let me know what you'll be generating next. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, happy building.
Let's build.